Hello, class of 2026, Dr. Richardson here, and I hope you're having a good week so far. So as you know, I like to think about traveling places and ask myself every week, where would I go if I could go anywhere? And this week is a place that I would absolutely love to go one day, and that is Tanzania. And if you know where Tanzania is, I'm sure you do, because I know your amazing social studies teachers have taught you, but it is below Kenya, and it is next to the Republic of Congo. There's two major national parks that are there. One has a mountain range of Kilimanjaro. I think that would be amazing to get to see. And actually that's what's in my background. And I think it would be almost an out of this world experience to actually see these animals, elephants, lions, giraffes in their natural habitat. I've only seen them at the zoo, and I can't imagine getting to see them up close. Well, not up close and too personal. I'd rather have, be in some kind of protective gear. But anyway, so that's where I'd like to go. So as you know, Toolbox Tuesday, this is a time for us to work on our study skills. And so this week, I thought it'd be a good idea if we focused on how to manage your time. So priorities. So rocking your priorities. As a class, take a second and talk about what is a priority. Now there's a video here, and I have sent this to your teacher. So I think this would be a good time to play that video, because it's going to give you a really good visual of how to set priorities. Okay. In the video, it talks about the jar, and that the jar represents your life and fitting in the things that are important. So the first thing it talks about are the rocks, because you want to put the rocks in first. Those are those things that are really super important and that carry the most weight. Those are those important tasks. The next are the pebbles. So pebbles are still important, but they don't carry as much weight as the rocks. And then lastly, the sand. Those are other tasks. So take time as a class and talk about what you think as a student. What are some of your more important tasks? What are those tasks that carry the most weight? And what about those necessary tasks, the pebbles? And then lastly, what would be some examples of sand? Take a second and think about that as a class. So let's see if you came up with the same thing that I did. So examples of the rocks would be your projects, those big projects, those tests, the things that carry a lot of weight. Some of the pebbles might be those daily assignments, those daily homework assignments. Uploading, that has got to be a great example of a pebble. And chores at home, because face it, we do have responsibilities that we need to fit in at home. And what about the sand? We can't just work. We need to have some time for ourselves. But that's the stuff that we fit around after we've taken care of our rocks and after we've taken care of our pebbles. Then we fit in the sand. A lot of times when we try to put the sand in first, we don't have room for our rocks or our necessary task. So it's very important that we prioritize and put things in our jars as a student in the right order, which would be rocks, and then our pebbles, and then the sand. And guess what, guys? You can fit everything in if you do that order. All right, so I want you to think about this. What's in your jar? What are your rocks? What are you prioritizing? What are your pebbles? And what's an example of your sand? So what are you putting in your jar first? Let's be honest about this. And then I want to ask you, how's that working for you? If you're putting the sand in first, if you're spending 7 to 8 hours a day on video games or whatever it is that you're doing, is that the best use of your time? Is that working for you? Because guys, honestly, if you follow this, you will have time to fit everything in by prioritizing your time and thinking of those big projects first, and then putting in your pebbles. And then lastly, you will have time for those things that you enjoy doing. So we're going to get into our second step lesson. And I hope that this has got you thinking about how to use your time wisely, guys. You have 5 days a week. How are you using that Wednesday? Are you using that time to upload assignments to work on your schoolwork? Are you using Tuesday and Friday? Are you utilizing all of your intervention time to work on assignments, upload your assignments, plan for your use of your time? So, okay, we're going to go ahead and get in our second step lesson.